What if I told you the coolest car on the block used to be the one without a roof, the convertible? Once a symbol of freedom, rebellion, romance, and summer joyrides. But now, it's kind of a niche toy. So what happened? Why did the convertible rise, rule, and then quietly disappear? Let's drop the top, fire up the engine, and take a ride through the story of the convertible, from its wind-in-your-hair beginnings to its questionable modern fate. And while we're at it, let's look at how Australia fit into this sunburnt saga. A roofless beginning. In the beginning, every car was a convertible. Back in the early 1900s, roofless vehicles were the default, modelled after open-air horse carriages. If you wanted to stay dry, you hoped for clear skies or packed an umbrella. As engineering advanced, roofs were added for practicality, but that open-air vibe stuck around. It wasn't long before manufacturers started offering removable roofs and soft tops, not because they had to, but because people wanted them. Driving was becoming an experience, not just a chore. Cars like the 1910 Cadillac Touring Edition or the 1929 Duesenberg Model J offered elegant open-top luxury. In those days, owning a convertible was like owning a yacht, part statement, part indulgence. Australia wasn't far behind. Early car culture here adopted the convertible too, albeit often out of necessity. The brutal Aussie sun made the idea of a roofless cruiser appealing. Until you realised the ozone layer wasn't your friend. Still, models like the Austin Healey Sprite, MG Midget, and even the rare Holden EJ Premier drop-top conversion gave Aussies a taste of freedom. True Blue Talk, is it worth a like and subscribe? Comment on your Holden Sutry to see if we could cover it. Cool was born convertible. Then came the post-war boom, the 1950s and 60s, the golden age of convertibles. America was booming, the highways were stretching coast to coast, and everyone wanted to be seen, whether it was cruising to the diner or driving to the beach. The Chevrolet Bel Air convertible, Ford Thunderbird, and Cadillac Eldorado. These weren't just cars, they were dreams on wheels. They screamed freedom. In Europe, icons like the Jaguar E-Type, Mercedes SL, and Alpha Spider brought flair to the Riviera. And in Australia, well, we had sun, surf, and an exploding love for the open road. While few Aussie-made convertibles rolled off the line officially, local conversion companies made a killing. Falcon XR and XA-based drop-tops popped up, often as custom jobs. Holden Monoros were occasionally sliced for sun-soaked weekend warriors, and imported gems like the VW Beetle Cabriolet, Fiat 124 Spider, and Triumph Stag brought European flair down under. Open-top motoring became a summer symbol for the well-to-do, the rebels and the romantics alike. Cruising the Gold Coast in a convertible, that was peak 1970s Australian luxury. But then the party hit a pothole. By the 1970s, convertibles were under fire. Safety concerns, especially around rollovers, became a big deal. People started asking, is it really a good idea to drive around in a car with no roof? Consumer watchdogs pushed for regulations. Insurance premiums went up, and emissions rules made producing low-volume models like convertibles harder and more expensive. In 1976, Cadillac declared the Eldorado as the last American convertible. It wasn't true, but it captured the mood. In Australia, the market shrank rapidly. Rising fuel prices, import taxes, and changing tastes made convertibles seem frivolous. Most local manufacturers stuck to sedans and coupes. The climate was perfect for roof-down cruising, but the market wasn't. It turns out we missed them. By the 80s and 90s, convertibles were back, and better. Technology helped. Reinforced chassis, roll bars, and electronic tops made them safer and easier to live with. The 1989 Mazda MX-5 Miata brought affordable top-down fun to the masses. It wasn't flashy, it was just fun. In Australia, it was sold as the Unos Roadster and later as the MX-5. It was an instant cult hit. BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Saab, Alfa, they all flooded the Aussie market with roofless offerings. You'd see them parked by beachside cafes or blasting down the Great Ocean Road. Even HSV flirted with the idea of convertibles, though none made full production. But special edition Commodore convertibles were commissioned privately. Rare, but real. So why aren't convertibles everywhere anymore? Let's break it down. Noise. With the top down, it's loud. Wind, road, engine. It's like sitting inside a hurricane with tyres. Even with the top up, ragtops act like acoustic drums at highway speeds. And don't even try having a phone call with your mate on the M1 Trunk space. Folding tops need space, especially retractable hardtops like the SL65 AMG. So your boot, it basically becomes a storage locker for the roof. Forget fitting your Bunnings run back there. Comfort, sunburn, windburn, dried out leather, mold in the carpet, birds literally pooping in your mouth. Yeah, that happens. Owning a convertible can turn every weather forecast into a threat. Convenience. Constantly putting the top up and down is annoying. Some people just leave the top up all the time, which defeats the entire purpose. If you're not using the convertible as a convertible, what's the point? Performance. Convertibles are heavier and less rigid than their coupe counterparts. Without a fixed roof, they flex more, which affects handling. Manufacturers compensate with reinforced frames, but that adds 150 to 200 kilograms. Extra weight equals sluggish car. Aerodynamics. An open roof means messy airflow. Wind vortices whip around the cabin like mini tornadoes. That kills fuel efficiency and top speed. Take the classic Shelby Cobra, an open-air beast on short tracks, but capped at 270 kilometers per hour on the straights. Once they enclosed it with the Daytona Coupe design, it blew past the competition. Looks. Some convertibles just look awkward. The Nissan Murano Cross Cabriolet. PT Cruiser, convertible. The Evoque ragtop. It's like the designers gave up halfway through. Sure, there are classics like the Miata or BMW Z3, but others, let's just say Chunky Butt, isn't a flattering rear-end design. Even in cars, safety and security. Modern convertibles are pretty safe. Many come with pop-up roll bars and reinforced A-pillars. But when it comes to theft, not great. A soft top is basically an invitation to smash and grab. That old Hilltop Hood CD, gone. So what became of the convertible in the land down under? In a country obsessed with dual cab utes, SUVs, and fuel economy, the drop top isn't exactly top of the list. Even Holden and Ford never fully committed to the idea. Most local convertibles were conversions, built by coach builders or custom shops. Demand just wasn't strong enough. That said, Australia still has the roads and the weather to make convertibles magical. The Great Ocean Road. The drive from Cairns to Port Douglas. Sunset runs through the Barossa. In those moments, a convertible isn't just a car, it's the whole experience. Convertibles may not dominate the sales charts anymore, they're a sliver of what they once were. They've taken over. But every time someone drops the top, takes a drive at sunset and lets the wind rush in, the convertible lives on. It's not about logic, it's about feeling. You don't need a convertible, you want one. Just remember, it might cost you some comfort, a bit of your hearing, and possibly your dignity if a magpie dive bombs your dashboard, but it'll also give you something hard to find in modern cars. A little magic.